228,000 hours, 9,940 days, 26 years of your life. That's enough to watch around 150,000 movies or sail around the world 7 times. And it's a healthy average amount of sleep you should get in your lifetime. It sounds like a lot, but in fact, the world population is now generally getting less sleep than ever before. Sleeping less has to do with how when we go to bed aligns with our circadian rhythms. It affects how long you can sleep, no matter how tired you are. How easily you fall asleep is partially genetic, but then again, our genes haven't changed a lot over the past century. It also has to do with your melatonin levels. When your system doesn't produce enough of it, your brain has trouble sending you to sleep. The main reason we're getting less sleep now is our sleep hygiene. It's all about the good old healthy habits. When you eat healthy regular meals, work out, and set the right sleep patterns, you can even beat some bad genetics in that way. When you do the opposite, even the best of genetics won't help you sleep-wise. One thing that now affects our sleep hygiene and has gotten way more pervasive during the 21st century is light. Humans have evolved to be super sensitive to the smallest changes in light around them. You have special receptors in your eyes that respond to those changes and regulate your circadian rhythms. They send data to the brain and regulate your internal clock. This internal clock is set to help your body get ready for the coming hours and days by analyzing the amount of light. Now, the artificial light all around you and shortwave light from your gadgets confuse your natural prediction system a lot. Scientists have found it can shift your internal clock by 5 or 6 time zones. As a result, your brain gets the signal to stay alert instead of falling asleep. Running low on sleep makes most of us pretty cranky the next day. But that would be the least of all evils. Next thing you know, you have trouble focusing on things and recalling details. Your brain just doesn't get enough time to properly process and store your memories for later. It also needs the right amount of time to process your emotions, recognize them, and react the proper way. When you deprive it of that time, negative emotions take over positive ones. Giving yourself enough time to rest is a contribution to your heart health and overall balance. It's also an investment in your athletic success. Not all sports are about quick bursts of energy, but you do need energy and motivation and enough time for muscle repair, even for endurance sports like running, swimming, or biking. And if that's still not enough to convince you that sleep is all you need, doing it for 8 hours helps you get rid of around 300 calories on its own. The number differs from person to person, and the more you weigh, the larger it is. All that energy goes on fueling your essential functions, such as breathing, circulation, temperature regulation, and cellular growth and repair. When you don't get enough sleep, your body needs more energy. Since it can't get it from snoozing, it'll make you get it from food. Your hormonal levels get messed up, and your body starts producing more hunger hormone and less fullness hormone. Scientists asked healthy adults to sleep for just 6 hours a day for 5 weeks, and their resting metabolism slowed down by 8%. No fun, right? Let's see what you can do about it. It takes your body around 90 to 110 minutes to pass through all stages of sleep and restore itself completely. That's one sleep cycle. It starts with stage 1 of non-REM sleep. REM here stands for rapid eye movement. Everything slows down, including your eye and muscle movement. If someone wakes you up at this stage, you won't feel like you've had any sleep at all. It's normal to feel like you're falling and then have a sudden muscle contraction at this stage. Then, at stage 2 of non-REM sleep, your eye movement stops and your heart rate and temperature go down. Your muscles partially contract and then relax, again and again. Stage 3 of non-REM sleep is deep sleep. Your brain produces slow waves. Your eyes and muscles aren't moving. It's not easy to wake you up. Then, about an hour after falling asleep, you pass through the REM sleep stage when you normally see vivid dreams. So, your brain activity increases and your sleep isn't that deep. Your major muscles, like the ones in your arms and legs, can't move. REM periods start out lasting 10 minutes and then get longer and longer. Then, the cycle starts over at stage 1 of non-REM sleep. When you plan your bedtime, it's important that you don't break those sleep cycles and let yourself have at least 5 of them per night. That sums up to 7.5 hours of rest. So, if you know you'll have to wake up at 7 a.m. the next day, you gotta schedule to doze off at 11:30 p.m. Planning on setting your alarm for 8 a.m. to rise and shine and get off to work or school? Then, your optimal bedtime starts at 12:30 a.m. You got it right. It's not about the earlier the better. If you missed your bedtime for some reason, wait an hour and a half before the next cycle starts. This way, you won't wake up tired and exhausted in the middle of your sleep cycle. We've all had those days when we're so exhausted we can hardly wait to get into bed, and then sleep just won't come. Sleep experts call it conditioned or learned arousal. It's one of the most common sleep problems these days. It most likely happens because something in your sleep environment is screaming to your brain to wake you up and not make you doze off. The worst thing you can do in that situation is start scrolling through your social media feed or work emails on your laptop. First off, the blue light your gadget's screen emits restrains the production of melatonin. That hormone is in charge of your sleep-wake cycle, aka circadian rhythm. Second, the mere expectation of those work emails and prospectively bad news or more tasks to do makes you nervous. Each new message you get means another decision your brain needs to take, and it has to stay active for that. That's why calming it down could take a good while when you finally put your phone aside and lay your head on the pillow. To get there faster, try listening to music for 25 to 60 minutes before bed. It doesn't have to be Beethoven and the like. Some other relaxing tunes, like jazz or folk songs, slow your heart rate and breathing and help your muscles relax. When you do it regularly, your brain will take it as a before-bed ritual, and you'll fall asleep even faster. It can also be a special sleepcast or an audiobook, as long as the narrator has a soothing voice and the story isn't shocking. The sound of frying bacon has a similar effect on your mind. It's comforting and repetitive enough to send some chilling vibes to your brain. It's perfect for falling asleep and as white noise while you're working and need to focus on something. You don't have to fry bacon before bed. Listening to a recording of it will do. Your report that's long overdue, the new person at work who seems to like you. Should you go see that movie everyone's talking about? And when will you finally sort all of your laundry? All those thoughts racing through your mind before bed won't let your brain unwind. Try getting up and writing down all of them to clear your mind of that burden. You could try putting them all in one painting or composing a poem. Another idea is making some meaningless lists in your mind. Plan what you take on a vacation on Mars or how you decorate your restaurant. It all works. You don't really have to know how many hours you have before your alarm clock goes off, so set it and hide it from plain sight. Put it in a drawer or under your bed. Every time you look at it, your brain sees it as a wake prompt. You quickly get used to this process and might wake up at night just for that. You can also try tricking your mind and stop trying to get asleep at all. You've probably noticed how much easier it is to doze off on your couch than it is even in the most comfortable of beds. Imagine you have an important test or job interview in the morning. You realize you need to get 8 hours of healthy sleep, but you aren't tired at all. You get into bed and try forcing yourself into it. And then, when you have just 4 hours of sleep time left, you move to the couch. The living room is a different environment, most likely filled with good memories. Most importantly, your brain doesn't associate it with you forcing yourself to fall asleep. Without all that pressure, you relax and get your well-deserved Z's in no time. Now let's talk about some physical things that can speed up the process of you falling asleep and improve the quality of it. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. Most sleep experts agree the best bedroom temperature is around 65 degrees. Your body temperature naturally decreases to initiate sleep, and this room temperature range helps boost this process. If you keep it too hot or too cold, you'll affect the quality of REM sleep. Shades, curtains, or blinds will help you make your bedroom dark enough. Switching the bright overhead lights off won't send you to dreamland immediately. The best you can do is get some lamps, a dimmer switch, or candles to keep the lights in your bedroom low-key all evening long. And make sure you spend some time outdoors in the morning or earlier in the day to get enough natural light. It'll keep your body clock on the right sleep-wake schedule. You'll never really declutter your mind in a cluttered space. Even if you're okay with it, your brain isn't. It interprets the mess in your bedroom as another task to be completed. Until it's done, it can't totally relax. Start with decluttering your clothes. They belong in the dresser, not on the floor or your armchair. Go through your paperwork. Better yet, keep your bills, lists, and papers out of the bedroom. Your books belong on the bookshelves. Don't pile them up around your bed. One is enough. Otherwise, it's another subconscious to-do list. Sort the artwork. If it's too chaotic or intense, it can also stimulate your brain to process it instead of calming down. If possible, keep the space under your bed clear, or at least sort the stuff you keep there and put it in vacuum bags to save space. Remember, your bed is for sleeping. It's not a home office where you can always answer a phone call or respond to emails. It's not a movie theater for watching late-night TV. And it's not the place to snuggle with your pets. They can easily interrupt your sleep as they start moving at night. You most likely sleep in one of 3 positions. The majority of people are side sleepers. This lateral position is pretty good for you, especially if you prefer the left side. Try not to curl up though. It may prevent you from breathing deeply. Sleeping on your back is called the supine position. No matter if you sleep with your arms down and close to your body, or like a starfish with your arms up over your head, it could make your lower back feel uncomfortable and take your snoring to the next level. This position is good for your neck though. To make it easier on your back, put a pillow between your legs to align your hips better and decrease the stress on your lower back. If you prefer to sleep on your stomach, it's the prone position. In this position, you tilt your head up and your neck muscles press on the important arteries going to the brain. As a result, your brain doesn't get enough blood, and you could wake up with a headache. So, stomach sleepers, you might want to reconsider your choice. Master the technique of progressive muscle relaxation. Your muscles that have been working all day need to unwind, just like your mind does. It's a kind of meditation that goes like a waterfall through each and every muscle in your body. You can go from your head and down to your toes, or in the opposite direction. First, take a deep breath. Then, tense your toes. Hold them like that for 5 seconds, and then relax them for 30 seconds. Move to your calves and thighs, and do the same. Contract and relax. Continue to your abs and the backside. Move up to your hands, then your arms and shoulders. Don't rush. Go muscle by muscle and focus your mind on what you're doing. No external thoughts allowed. Finally, work your chest, neck, and don't forget about your face. Tighten your jaws and then relax them. If that full body relaxation is too much for you, at least work out your toes as you lie in bed. Curling and uncurling them for a while is a great way to release the tension from your entire body. It's so repetitive, your body starts slowly moving into sleep mode. Plus, it works out your leg muscles and even your abs. You can also try one of the many breathing techniques. Blowing bubbles, for example, relaxes your body and takes your mind off problems that distract you from going to sleep mode. Moon breathing is popular in many countries in Asia as a way to calm down your nervous system and improve your sleep cycle. Want to give it a go? Put a finger on your right nostril and breathe slowly and deeply through your left one. The yogis believe this way you only get the passive moon energy. It slows you down before sleep or whenever you need to calm down quickly. Use all of your acting skills and hum like a bee. It's like a spa for your mind and nervous system. Humming turns on the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and serotonin, aka the feel-good one. To make it work, you gotta lie down on your bed, close your mouth, inhale through the nose, and hum like a bee on your exhales for about 10 minutes before sleep. Have you ever heard of the 10-3-2-1-0 technique? The idea is to stop taking caffeine in any form 10 hours before bed. Then, no food at all 3 hours before bed. You must stop working to take your mind off things 2 hours before sleep. No more screen time 1 hour before bed. That includes your phone, TV, and computer. Finally, the 0 in the formula stands for the number of times you'll hit the snooze button in the morning. Experts confirm this technique works miracles and will help you sleep well and wake up energized the next morning. If you can't survive without a pre-bed snack, a grumbling stomach is no fun at all. At least pick the right and healthy food. When you consume caffeine or fatty foods high in sugar, it takes a long time for your system to digest that stuff. That's why your body temperature rises. It won't help you get a good night's sleep. Instead, get some almonds before bed for a longer and deeper sleep. Another healthy and effective before-bed snack is walnuts. They contain omega-3 acids that kickstart the production of serotonin. The best you can do for your sleep, diet-wise, is to have brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Bananas help your muscles relax, thanks to potassium. Eggs are rich in protein that helps healthy sleep. Oats and honey send the right amount of melatonin to your brain. You can also get a cup of chamomile tea, eat some kiwi, or have a bowl of rice. Foods you should avoid before going to sleep, unless you want to be awake all night, are cheese, fatty food, and all things spicy. Another sure way to spend more time quality sleeping and not tossing and turning in bed is to take a warm bath or shower an hour or two before bed. Even 10 minutes can help change your body's core temperature, relax both the body and mind, and make you fall asleep no problem. Now, are you 100% happy with your pillow? It should be just the right size, not too fat and not too flat. If your neck and shoulders don't get sufficient support or are curved at a weird angle that makes them twist or crunch, this puts your spine and body out of balance. As a result, you wake up with discomfort in your neck, shoulders, and back. It also happens when you've overused even the most perfect of pillows. Ideally, you should replace it after 18 months. That doesn't sound like a long time, but then again, you spend 2,500 hours a year with your head on it. so it's not that bad after all. Memory foam pillows can last longer, up to 3 years. A natural pillow is also more durable than a synthetic one. Ready to test your soft sleep companion? First, take off the pillowcase and give the pillow a thorough look. If it has stains from sweat, is torn, or smells, it does need replacing. Pillows collect dead skin cells, mildew, mold, fungus, and dust mites. Over time, these unwelcome guests become a crowd that can interfere with your sleep because of their odors. Then, fold your pillow in half. If it lies there folded and doesn't spring back to its original shape, it's time to start looking for a new one. You can choose a light and soft pillow filled with down, feathers, and other fillings. A good quality down pillow won't be cheap, but it's worth it if you want that natural material and super softness. Memory foam and latex pillows are heavier than lightweight choices, but unless you want to reshape it and move it with you while sleeping, it can be just fine. Your mattress also matters. Most of them have a lifespan of 8 years. If yours is much older than that, it's time to find a replacement for it. The 3 most common types of them are inner spring, foam, and adjustable. Side sleepers will feel more comfortable with a softer mattress. Stomach sleepers need a firm one. And back sleepers land somewhere in between. The good old inner spring option will give you that bouncy feeling with its extra durable interconnected coils. It's smart to choose a firmer, well-quilted mattress and get a replaceable mattress topper to make it last longer. Memory foam mattresses have less spring and give you more pressure relief. They mostly have several layers of foam, heavier ones on the bottom and lighter kinds on the top. There are also hybrid mattresses with 2 central elements, an inner spring support core, and a foam comfort system. It's the perfect blend of bounce and contouring and low heat retention. It works for sleepers in any position. You can also experiment with an air-filled mattress with a remote that lets you control how much air is inside. Sleep is such an important aspect of your life, it gave rise to many myths. Let's see which of them are actually true. Some people say you can reduce sleep time by an hour or 2 every night and feel just as good. Sleep experts beg to differ. An average person needs between 6 and 9 hours a night. You must already know your own number. You can force yourself into earlier wake-ups and feel seemingly well at first, but your sleep debt will gradually build up. As a result, your brain won't be able to function to its fullest. Your concentration level will drop, your reaction will become slower, and you'll feel confused and distressed. If you know you'll have to reduce the amount of sleep for a certain period of time, try banking sleep in advance. Experiments proved going to bed a couple of hours earlier than usual every night for a week could help you suffer less once you have to sleep less. But don't make a habit out of it. Sleeping in every weekend won't compensate for your sleep deprivation during the week. Another popular myth says putting your socks on will instantly send you to dreamland. It won't work in 1 second, but it can be one of the cues for your brain that it's time to doze off. Wearing socks promotes blood circulation to your feet. The vessels widen and can get rid of heat much faster. This drops down your core body temperature faster than usual, and that's what you need for a good, healthy sleep. You've probably heard that a long daytime nap is great for you. Naps are fine, but you'd better keep them under 1 hour and enjoy them before 2 to 3 p.m. If you nap for longer, you'll likely fall into the deep stages of sleep. You'll wake up with a groggy feeling and not refreshed at all. You'll also likely sleep off some of the sleep debt you have from the morning. It means you could have trouble falling asleep at night. To get the most productive nap, set the alarm to limit your nap to 10 to 20 minutes. Nap around the halfway point between your wake-up time and the time you want to go to bed. find a dark, cool, and quiet place. Don't think about your work tasks or problems. Focus on what you're going to get from this nap. Do you believe the popular opinion that it's better to be an early bird than a night owl? In fact, both can do pretty well in life. It might be easier for a morning person to fit in and do better at work because of the way society is traditionally structured. Morning people are mostly more persistent, self-directed, and agreeable. But it doesn't mean you have to force yourself into becoming a lark if your productivity is at its peak in the evening. You'll feel better if you stay true to your natural preferences. When night owls wake up early, they're still producing melatonin. If you disrupt that process, you'll be doing yourself more bad than good. Your internal clock is mainly biological. You inherit the length of your circadian cycle from your parents. For night owls, it normally runs longer, and trying to change that is going against your own nature and genetics. The guy you once met at the grocery store, a friendly lady who used to serve you coffee on your way to the office. Another sleep myth says that in your dreams, you can only see faces that you have already seen in real life. This sounds a lot like the truth, but there's no way to prove it 100% right or wrong. First, your dreams aren't normally vivid enough to detect and memorize the facial or body features of people you see there. Second, they're all super fleeting. Your dreams start fading away the second you wake up, and your mind starts filling in the gaps in case you want to remember those dreams. So it's likely to rewrite the missing data with something or someone you've seen before. Finally, your brain processes the faces of people you see even if you don't pay any attention to them. So it's impossible to tell who's just a plot of your imagination and who's real. Many people are sure those who can't wake up without an alarm clock just aren't getting enough sleep. In reality, this has to do with your REM cycle. If you wake up in the middle of it, you'll likely feel tired, even if you've slept the recommended amount of hours for your age. If you don't feel like doing all the sleep cycle math yourself, get an alarm app that monitors your sleep cycles and will wake you up just at the right time. Have you ever rubbed the on-me-on spot trying to hit the sack faster? That little spot is between your earlobe and the hairline that comes up the back of your neck. Videos of people rubbing it with their thumb or forefinger have gone viral. They say it helps to relax the nervous system. Sleep experts debunk this myth, as sleep is about your brain and hormones, and not about massaging yourself. One way the rubbing could work out is by exhausting you so much that you'd fall asleep eventually. Another popular myth states that you gotta stay awake all night to cure jet lag. In fact, depriving yourself of sleep won't help you adjust to the new time zone. There is no cure for jet lag, but you could try spending as much time outside as you can. Natural light should help you feel better and get some sound sleep. You can start preparing yourself for your future trip ahead of time. If you're traveling east, say from New York to London, with a 5-hour time difference, start shifting your schedule 4 or 5 days before the trip by 1 hour. So, by the time you get there, you'll be used to local time. When it's time to go back home, the same tips will work. You can also start preparing yourself and adjusting your bedtime in advance. When buying tickets for a long-haul flight through multiple time zones, pick a flight for the time you usually sleep at, if that's possible. If you normally go to bed at 10 p.m. and there are flights that leave at 7 p.m. or 10 p.m., it's a good idea to go for the second option. Wake up 2 to 3 hours earlier the night before the flight to fall asleep faster on board. Arrive at the airport a couple of hours before the flight and even earlier for international flights from larger airports. It will let you avoid unnecessary stress as you walk through check-in and security. And this way, you'll have enough time to do all of your pre-bed rituals. Want to brush your teeth? No problem. You have time for that. Do you normally read before you fall asleep? You can do that before you get on the plane as well. This will trick your body into thinking it's just another regular day, and taking your seat on the plane will feel like moving to your bedroom, all ready for a good night's sleep. Don't ever deprive yourself of some quality, well-deserved sleep. Make those 26 years of your life really count.
You can turn ordinary matches into waterproof ones. Apply a thin coat of nail polish to the matches and let it dry. Once they're ready, they'll stay dry enough to start a fire even if you drop the matches in the water. If you get lost somewhere during the winter and need a drink, then don't eat snow. It has much more air than water, so you won't even feel much more hydrated. Your body also wastes a lot of energy trying to eat it. Even worse, you might lower your body temperature and could even get sick. If you find yourself face to face with a coyote or a wolf, don't turn your back. Slowly retreat while facing the animal. This might only work for a single animal, though. If you meet a pack, then the most important thing is to make sure that they don't surround you. Back away towards a tree and press your back against it. Then choose the right moment and climb it as quickly as possible. Several layers of clothing will warm you better than one warm fur coat or down jacket. Air will be trapped between the clothing layers, insulating you and keeping your body warm. If you get lost in the woods, always try to sleep a little above the ground. You can lay on a layer of branches and leaves as a makeshift bed, or stretch a hammock out between some trees. At night, the temperature drops and the ground becomes cold. Even if you build a fire, it could go out while you sleep, and the ground will be sapping your body heat. You're in a boat in the middle of the sea, no food, no fishing net, and you're hungry. It was supposed to be only a 3-hour tour. Well, guess what? You can catch fish with the help of shoelaces and any object – phone, watch, or keys. The shadow cast by the boat in the sea can attract fish, and a reflective object can work as bait. Tie your keys to your shoelaces and use them as a fishing rod. Even if a fish doesn't bite, activities like this are a good way to maintain a healthy mind on the open sea. A short meditation can save you from a panic attack. You need to focus on your breathing and try to slow it down. Your brain will quickly calm down and turn its focus away from the panic. Oxygen masks in airplanes work on the same principle. When you control your breathing, your attention is redirected away from whatever bad thing is happening. You can make a torch out of a log. Put a small log vertically, make a deep star-shaped cut on the top. Put dry grass, leaves, and sticks inside. Once you're done, set fire to the log and watch it burn for up to 3 hours. This should work the same regardless of the size and type of wood. Now, if you meet an angry grizzly bear, never try to run away because the bear can easily outrun you. Instead, lie down and don't move. Grizzlies only usually attack when they see a threat, so they'll often leave you alone if you show them that you won't cause them any problems. This only works with grizzly bears, though. If a confrontation is unavoidable, back away slowly and use bear spray. If you don't have any, pepper spray will work similarly and should disorient the bear and scare it away. Or not. Don't eat berries or mushrooms in the forest if you don't know exactly what they are. They could be poisonous. If you have no other option, eat the inner bark of maples, birches, and pines to fill your stomach. Use a knife to cut away the rough outer bark and get to the softer white stuff. You can boil it to make it even softer, or cook it over an open fire to make a crunchy snack. And if you're really starving, you can look for ants. They might not be the most appetizing, but they're pretty nutritious. If you don't have a watch, you can use your fingers to find out how much time is left until sunset. Raise your hand so the inside of your palm is facing you. Your fingers should be between the sun and the horizon line. See how many fingers can fit in this space. The thickness of one finger equals about 15 minutes, so you can calculate the time left before sunset. If you're lost and need to build a fire to attract attention, throw in a lot of pine, cedar branches, cones, and any unnecessary rubber objects. Your fire will emit more black smoke, which makes it visible from afar. If you have no water in the desert but have some food, try to avoid eating for as long as you can. The more you eat, the more thirsty you'll get. The body needs liquid to digest food, so it'll use up what little you have. A person can live much longer without food than without water, so don't be afraid to stay hungry. Hey, you found a huge puddle of dirty water in the forest. If you're desperate for a drink, you can fill your bottle and filter it into drinking water. To clean it, make a rope of gauze or clothing. Put one end into the dirty bottle and the other one into the empty one. Before long, the clean water will flow into the empty bottle through the rope, while the impurities are left behind. Before hiking, replace your regular shoelaces with paracord shoelaces. If you don't have enough rope, these laces can give you a few extra feet in a pinch. If you're lost in the forest and have nothing to warm you, then take dry leaves and grass from the ground and put it between 2 layers of clothing. This will help you stay warm for a long time. When you're lost in the desert, try to move as little as possible during the day. Find a shadow or create it from improvised materials and sit in the shade until dark. At night, you'll spend much less energy and use up less fluid while you walk. This will help you to avoid the risk of a heat stroke. If you fall through some ice, don't try to get out like you would in a pool. If you put your hands on the ice and try to push yourself out with your arms, it could crack and make you fall back into the water. You need to stretch your arms parallel to the ice surface and stretch your legs way back so they float in the water. In this horizontal position, start waving your legs as if you're swimming. Move your arms carefully without putting too much weight on the ice, and you should be able to escape. If you need to build a fire while it's too windy, here's what to do. Dig 2 holes next to each other and create a small underground tunnel between them. Make a fire in one of the pits. The wind can't extinguish it, and the fire gets its air through the second pit. This method is also useful if you need to build a fire without drawing attention. In the dark, this kind of fire won't be visible. Don't throw away or pop bubble wrap. Take it on a hike with you. It will protect you from the cold better than even a thick blanket would. Those tiny air bubbles are perfect insulation. Just put it in between layers of clothing and it'll stop any warmth from escaping. The plastic it's made of is also waterproof, so it can stop you from getting wet too. Swimming in the sea not far from the shore, you can easily get swept up in rip currents. If this happens, the most important thing to remember is not to swim against the current. This will only waste your strength and sap your energy, and you're unlikely to ever overpower an ocean current. Instead, try to swim sideways along the shore. Sooner or later, you should get out of the current, and then you can safely swim to the beach. If you're stuck in a falling elevator, don't try to jump at the moment of collision. Don't take a sitting position or stand either. You need to lie on the floor, facing the ceiling. Spread your legs as wide as possible, cover your face with one hand, and put the other hand behind your head for protection. You reduce the pressure on your body in this position when you fall. Ooh, you're lost. A rescue helicopter flies over the forest, but you don't have a flare and don't have time to build a fire. Use a small mirror or phone screen to reflect the sunlight. Aim the light beam towards the helicopter. Rescuers should notice the glare and fly over to save you. Wow, these days smartphones do almost everything for us. But that doesn't mean we know about all they have to offer. Buckle up, because we're about to find out some fun tips and tricks together. When traveling, set a currency conversion chart as a lock screen for quick access. This will help you to calculate your transactions. Cover your phone's microphone to improve the audio recording. This trick will filter out the background noise and keep the focus on the main audio source. If your charger cord is too long, wrap it around a thick pen and use a blow dryer at low heat to give it a spiral shape. Place your sunglasses in front of your camera lens to take better photos in the sun. It'll reduce glare. Charge your phone faster by switching on airplane mode, and don't use it while charging. You can fix a damaged charger using the spring from a retractable pen. Open up the spring a little, then wind it round the cable just below the charger's head. Run a regular school eraser smoothly along your screen to remove fingerprints and smudges. When you go swimming, Pop your smartphone in a Ziploc bag to keep it protected, not just from water, but also from sand and chemicals. Grab a photo of your car when you're parked in a huge parking lot to remember where you parked. Yeah, I get lost too. To avoid the annoying "please enter your email address" message on websites, save it as a keyboard shortcut. This will make logging in easier. If there's no charging port at a hotel, check the back of the TV. Most of them have ports that your charger can connect up to. To avoid holding your phone to look at a map while driving, attach a hair tie or a rubber band through the AC vent, then run your phone through it. Or you can download a navigation app with a dark interface and display it on your car's windshield. At night, these apps reflect off the glass in front of you. To avoid draining your phone's battery on maps, look up the route beforehand and take multiple screenshots of your trip. Correct Siri's pronunciation by responding with things like, "That's not how you pronounce bumfuzzle or cattywampus." That way Siri will learn how to say stuff correctly. "Hey, I think I've been to Bumfuzzle once." If you're struggling with your phone's signal in a remote area, turn airplane mode off and on again. This will help your gadget locate the nearest available tower. Phone brightness can drain your battery faster. To conserve it, switch your background to a plain black photo. When a pixel is black, it doesn't produce any light. Although, this only works if you have an AMOLED screen, not an LCD one. Another way to save battery is to check which apps are running in the background. You can see which ones drain your phone by examining the battery usage in your settings. Store your earphones, AirPods, and charger in your sunglasses case to avoid losing them while traveling. Avoid the limited storage space notification by programming your phone to automatically delete messages after a certain amount of time. For you night owls who struggle to get up in the morning, place your phone in a cup to amplify its sound. Then set your alarm and place the cup on your dresser. The loud noise will force you to get up and turn it off. All smartphones have the Find My Phone tool in their system. You can access it through another device when you lose your gadget. Your phone will make sounds at maximum volume even if it's on silent. You can only turn it off with your unique ID. Once or twice a year, let your phone battery drain completely. It'll make the percentage count on your battery more accurate. If your TV remote has disappeared or run out of batteries, you can replace it with your phone and navigate your TV with it. You can also use your gadget as a remote wireless mouse and keyboard for your computer. When you want to watch a movie on your phone during a flight, pick up one of those Ziploc bags for liquids at the airport. Place your phone inside it, then hook the bag onto the table locking mechanism. Or you can use your glasses instead. The folded arms of your glasses should support your phone perfectly. Don't waste your data watching movies or reading articles. Download the content beforehand and enjoy it without internet access. Which reminds me, to avoid being bombarded with ads while playing games, turn off your internet or put your phone in airplane mode. This will also block distracting phone calls. Speaking of which, ask your phone to remind you to call someone back when you're busy playing games. During the phone call, select the Remind Me Later option and your phone will do the rest. When you see an unknown plant, you can snap photos of it and your phone will identify it for you. There are apps like Google Lens that will give you the name of anything you're looking at. Both Apple and Android devices give you the option to store your deleted photos for 15 to 30 days in case you change your mind. If you've accidentally typed in an extra digit on your iPhone's calculator, You can remove it by swiping left or right at the top. You can also use your phone camera as a digital measuring tape. It can calculate the dimensions of a coffee table or the height of your door. Use your volume button or your earphones to snap selfies. Some smartphones allow you to use voice commands to open the camera, and others start taking photos when you give them the code words, "OK Google." When texting on your iPhone, press and hold the spacebar to move your cursor instead of dragging it with your finger. While I'm on the subject, if you've accidentally deleted something you typed on your iPhone, shake your gadget to undo it. Some Android phones allow you to take screenshots by swiping the edge of your hand across the screen. But first, you need to enable the palm motion feature. Using touchscreen gloves means you have to manually unlock your phone by typing your passcode. To avoid this, add your nose as an additional fingerprint. If you can't type with both hands on a large phone screen, enable the one-handed keyboard option in your settings. This will narrow down your keyboard size and move it to the side of your screen. Keep an extra $20 or $50 bill tacked in your phone case as a backup, in case you lose or forget your wallet. Or just give it to me. I'll watch it for you. When there's a power outage, you can turn your phone into a lantern by turning on your flashlight and placing a plastic water bottle on top of it. Prevent people who aren't in your contact list from calling you by switching on the Silence Unknown Callers option on your iPhone. Save some time when typing a web address in Safari by holding down the period key on your keyboard. This will bring up all the URL endings, starting with .com. If you don't have internet access at home, use your phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot to surf both on your laptop and tablet. You don't need an app to scan QR codes. Your phone's camera does it automatically, then takes you to the product or website you're looking for. Don't close your apps one by one. On your iPhone, swipe with 3 fingers at once to close several of them at a time. For Android users, swipe up in the middle of your screen, then swipe from left to right, and on the far left, press Clear All. Use the negative side of a battery as an alternative stylus to navigate your screen. Or you can wrap your fingers in some aluminum foil if you're wearing gloves. Turn your camera lens into a magnifying glass by putting a drop of water on it. Prevent people from touching your phone by downloading alarm apps that go crazy when they sense motion. Or use that electroshock app to zap them. Sorry, made that one up. You can eavesdrop on people's conversations using your AirPods. Leave your phone in the area you want to spy on and switch on the Live Listen To function. Then walk away with your AirPods in your pocket. You little spy, you. Hey, don't look now, but when you make your bed, you also make a cozy home for tiny dust mites. Really? Your pillow, blanket, and sheets seem clean enough, but these little guys thrive inside your bed. They love dark spaces, just like your mattress. Bad news? You can't see them without a microscope, but that doesn't mean they're not hanging out in your bed. So, if you cover them up while making the bed in the morning, they're going to be pretty grateful. Now they have the perfect environment to thrive. One thing these tiny bugs are afraid of is sunlight. So, it's not hard to understand that covering them up is the same as protecting them. If there's sunlight and fresh air, they change location. So, if you never make your bed, you aren't messy, you're just health conscious. Most people feel tired twice a day, at 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. But since humans are the only mammals that can delay their sleep willingly, most of us never have an afternoon nap at 2 p.m. If you really want to doze off for a while, be careful. Make sure you do it no later than 5. Otherwise, you'll find it really difficult to fall asleep later, and you'll probably stay up all night. The best sleep you can get is at night, But if you can't help falling asleep during the day, make sure to set an alarm clock for not more than 20 minutes. Another way to overcome that sleepiness is to take a short walk. A glass of icy water can wake you up fast too. Drink it or splash it in your face. Works either way. Some people have tried to conquer sleep, to be productive and not miss out on anything. Leonardo da Vinci used the Uberman sleep cycle schedule. He would only sleep for 20 minutes at a time, but do it every 4 hours. He invented so many things and painted so much. It's like he had way more time than 24 hours a day. One of the drawbacks of this scheme is that it's pretty hard to concentrate on long-term projects. Another great mind, Nikola Tesla, wasn't really into sleeping, just like Da Vinci. He used the same Uberman sleep cycle and never slept more than a couple of hours a day. He claimed he once worked for 84 hours in a row. So, when you don't sleep the whole night, you're about to invent something amazing. Or not. It's true that you should definitely avoid blue light for at least 2 hours before you go to sleep. That means most electronic devices, like TVs, laptops, and smartphones. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still day. That's why it doesn't let you sleep well. If you can't fall asleep without scrolling your feed, you might want to download an app that blocks blue light or check your settings. Most laptops let you do something similar. You can even keep this mode on all day. Your eyes will be so grateful. If you crave sweets before you go to bed, you're not alone. It might feel like chocolate soothes you and calms you down, so it's easier to fall asleep. But watch out for caffeine. It's not just in your coffee. Even chocolate has a small amount of caffeine in it, just enough to disturb your sleep. By the way, there are lots of superfoods besides chocolate that can either boost your productivity or help you sleep. For example, most berries contain antioxidants that help increase motor skills and work wonders for your memory. The darker the berries are, the more antioxidants they contain. Blueberries are a great choice. The time when you eat matters a lot. It's better to avoid food for at least 1 hour before you go to sleep. Monster meals can be too heavy for your digestive system, especially if you're about to lie down for 8 hours straight. If you want to grab some food in the evening, make it light, like a healthy snack, milk, or cheese. By the way, eating breakfast for dinner is really helpful for those who want to fall asleep faster. Bananas, eggs, toast, it's all packed with proteins and carbs. All these things can help you relax and fall asleep. So, Brenner, that's a thing now, I guess. Whenever you have a hard time falling asleep, aromatherapy is here to help. Some essential oils are especially good for sleep, like lavender, peppermint, and rose petal. If you're into citrus, try mixing lemon and orange. You can add just a few drops onto a piece of paper or add them to your aroma lamp. Just remember, those oils are strong. If you tend to get negative thoughts at night and you just can't fall asleep, try practicing some creative writing before going to bed, or start a daily diary. It might help you get rid of some of those downer vibes. When you're calm, you get better sleep. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, this trick really works. If you focus on falling asleep, you're going to fail. If you focus on not falling asleep, like counting sheep or something equally ridiculous, chances are you'll doze off after a couple of minutes. You can also count to 4, 7, 8. This technique helps you relax your body by regulating your breathing. First you inhale and exhale fully. Hold it while you count to 4, then inhale. Keep the air in your lungs and count to 7. While you're exhaling, count to 8. Repeat that a few times. Your body will regulate oxygen and carbon dioxide, trigger the relaxation response, and you'll fall asleep really fast and stay that way all night. Body tension can stem from tense and stressful thoughts, and that can make it really hard to fall asleep. To relax, think about something that makes you happy or something you're grateful for before you go to sleep. When you're relaxed, you fall asleep way faster. When it's too hot, it can be really hard to get to sleep. Stick 1 foot out from under the covers and let it cool off. Once your body feels that cool relief, you'll fall asleep in no time. Another trick you can try is to cover yourself with a slightly wet sheet, but this one's only for serious heat, like you're on vacation at the beach and your AC bugs out. If you feel too cold whenever you sleep, Try layering with 2 thin comforters. Air gets trapped in between the layers, keeping you warmer than if you had one huge comforter. The opposite works too. Even a really lightweight sheet can add a lot of heat. Bedroom temperature is really important. Yeah, no one wants to get a chill while they're sleeping. 70 degrees is comfortable for most people. If it's too hot, you might end up tossing and turning too much and not get into those deep stages of rest. If you don't want to crank the AC to full blast, try taking a hot shower right before bed. It'll make your bedroom seem much cooler than it really is, and your body temperature will drop just enough. You'll fall asleep as soon as your head touches the pillow. One famous athlete went even further. He created the perfect sleep training bedroom. He recreated a mountainous environment by decreasing the amount of oxygen in the air. That way, his body was forced to work harder and produce more red blood cells. He claims that it helped him increase his endurance and perform better. Now, if sleep is just not happening, try massaging your toes and the arch of your foot for a couple of minutes. It's another great way to relax. In case you can't bend down that far, rub your ears. Surprisingly, the effect is pretty much the same. Gently massage the earlobe, then all other parts of the ear. It has a lot of nerve endings, so if you massage it, it can help relax your head and neck muscles. Time for some pillow talk. Sometimes it's even nice to sleep without one. Make sure your pillow is neither too thick nor too thin. If you like sleeping on your front, you may want to put your pillow right under your stomach. Try it, see if it makes you feel more comfortable. The best pillowcases are made of silk. Your face literally glides on silk, so it won't be all wrinkled when you wake up. Hair doesn't rub against silk either, so you won't have to spend hours pulling all those knots out in the morning. Nighty-night. Now, if you're falling from a great height, try to copy a skydiver's position. Your head and chest should face down. Spread your arms and legs and bend them at a 90-degree angle. If possible, choose a place to land. Bushes or haystacks can cushion your fall. Water surface is only safe if you fall from a height of no more than 150 feet. Before landing, try to position your body vertically. Remember that it's always better to fall forward than backward. Protect your head and neck with your arms locked together. Actually, none of this will save you, but it will give you something to do before they name the crater after you. Now, if you're plummeting from a cliff, do your best to break your fall down into several parts. The shorter they are, the better. Each of these parts will absorb some impact of the fall. This way you'll have much higher chances of surviving. Try to grab onto a sturdy object, like a bush or a rock on your way to the bottom. It'll slow you down. If you see a piece of wood or a plank, snatch it too. It might help to soften your fall when you hit the ground. Most importantly, don't hold your body stiff. This is likely to harm your internal organs. Cover your head and try to land on your feet with your knees slightly bent. In fact, once you hit, everything about you will be slightly bent. But hey, you gotta try. If a building you're in collapsed and you ended up under a pile of debris and rubble, try to keep your panic at bay. Yeah. Your main task now is to protect your breathing organs and make your air supply last as long as possible. If there's enough space, take off your shirt or t-shirt and tie its bottom in a knot. Then put it back on your head through the neck hole so that the knot is on top of your head. You'll get a makeshift hood that will protect your face from dust, sand, and debris. It will also provide you with a bit of oxygen while you're trying to get back to the surface. If you're stuck in a falling elevator, lie down on your back and try to occupy as much space as possible. Your body fat and muscles are compressible. They'll absorb some of the impact force. If you can't lie down, sit on the floor. It's still better than standing. Your backside will act like an airbag in a car. But whatever position you choose, cover your head. The best way to do it is to put one arm in front of your face and the other on the back of your neck. If you get stuck in the wilderness, first of all, find some water. Check low-lying areas. If there are mountains, look for water at the foot of the cliffs. If you manage to find some rainwater, don't let it stay in the container too long. It may go bad. Pay attention to ants climbing trees. They're likely to be traveling toward a source of moisture inside a tree. A bottle of water can help you start a fire if you keep it under direct sunlight long enough. The bottle will act as a lens, gathering all the heat in one spot. Use fire and smoke to signal for help. Cover the flames with a big branch or with a pan for 3 to 4 seconds. This will gather enough smoke. Then let this puff of smoke go. Now, if you've fallen through the ice, try to get back to its edge. Don't pull yourself out by grabbing it. The edge will keep breaking, and this will wear you down in no time. Kick your legs until your body is positioned horizontally in the water. After that, get out of the water and onto the ice. Once you've made it there, don't stand up. Your weight should be distributed over a larger area. Then the ice will be less likely to break. Start rolling toward the shore like seals do. If you have a muscle cramp while swimming, try to turn on your back and float this way. Massage the bottom of your foot or the part of your leg that feels tight. If you have a cramp in the back of your leg, bend it at the knee and pull it toward your chest. You should be still floating on your back. Try to relieve the cramp by pulling your toes inward. If you get caught in an indoor fire, stay low and crawl toward the nearest exit. The smoke usually rises toward the ceiling. That's why crouching might keep you from inhaling it. If you have a piece of cloth or a handkerchief, put it against your mouth. It'll act like a filter against the smoke. Fall to the ground and roll back and forth if your clothes have caught fire. If you do have a fire extinguisher, aim it at the base of the flames. It's much more effective. And keep in mind that if you break a window, you'll let in more oxygen, and this will feed the fire. And here's what you should do to stay safe during a natural disaster. If you see the area getting flooded while you're outside, run away from any streams, storm drains, or rivers. Try to get to higher ground. If you're stuck at home, move to the roof if you think it's safe enough. If a tornado is moving towards you and you don't have time to escape, find a ditch or some low place. Lie down and cover your head with your hands or clothes. If a tornado happens while you're inside and there's no basement in your house, hide in a bathtub. Use a pillow to protect your head from any kind of debris that may fall down. The plumbing in the bathroom walls adds structural strength to the place. But if your bathroom has windows or an exterior-facing wall, pick a more secure place, for example, a closet. The more walls separate you from the tornado, the better. If you're outside during a storm and you suddenly feel your hair stand on end, it's your cue lightning is about to strike. Your skin might start tingling, and you're likely to hear some clicking or buzzing sounds. Immediately crouch down and place your head between your knees. But even though you should be as low as possible, do not lie down. The only thing touching the ground should be the balls of your feet. Keep your heels together. This way, instead of running through your entire body, electricity is likely to go in one foot and out the other. You can also cover your ears with your hands to prevent hearing loss. If you're lost in the desert, travel during the early morning hours. This way, you'll be able to avoid most of the heat. If you see a hill or some other high ground, climb it and look around. You might spot some greenery, buildings, or a road. You won't have such an opportunity at night. Many desert animals also hunt after the sunset. And here's how you should act around wild animals. If a bull is charging at you, stand still until it comes close. Then throw a piece of clothing in the opposite direction. Bulls react to movements, and throwing a hat or a shirt away from you will distract the animal. It'll chase the moving object. If a shark is moving towards you, don't swim away in panic. You'll look like something the animal will want to eat. Wait until the shark gets closer and start hitting it with your fists. Aim at its eyes, nose, and gills. These are the only vulnerable areas on the animal's body. If you meet a pack of unfriendly dogs, distract them and move away quietly. If one of the dogs still lunges at you, place some object between yourself and the animal's jaws. Now, let's say you've accidentally disturbed a swarm of bees, and now they are coming after you. Run in a straight line as fast as possible until they stop chasing you. An even better alternative is to find some shelter. It can be your car, a house, or even a public bathroom, and hide inside. Now, if you accidentally meet a bear, introduce yourself. No, wait. Actually, everything will depend on what species it is. If it's a larger brown bear, fall down and pretend you've passed away. Shouldn't be hard. But if it's a smaller black bear, which rarely attacks people, shouting and making yourself look bigger may help. You may also try to scare the bear away by pretending to lunge at it. If you encounter a snake, try to be as quiet as possible. If there's an opportunity to walk away, go for it. But if you can't avoid the reptile, raising your voice, banging two sticks together, or stomping your feet might make it retreat. Even though snakes don't have visible ears, they're sensitive to vibrations. And if all of these things happen to you on the same day, call the Guinness people. I think you've set some records.
You're trembling. Drops of sweat are dripping down your face. Your frightened eyes look up, watching a big flying bug. The Asian giant hornet, the size of a thumb, is hovering above you. It's one of the most dangerous insects on the planet. And not just because its sting looks like a needle. This insect can cause a real economic crisis all over the world and lead to the mass extinction of many species of living creatures on Earth. But we can speak about it later, because now it's going to sting you. The sting of the giant hornet is one of the most dangerous and painful among insects. You're about to find out what happens to the human body after the sting pierces the skin. There's no point in running. The hornet will catch up with you anyway. It flies around you. You hear a strange crackling sound. The hornet flicks its jaws to scare you and keep you at a distance. After a couple of seconds, it attacks. The hornet stings you right in the shoulder. Oh, it doesn't care about your clothes. The stinger can pierce through a thick layer of fabric and even a beekeeper's protective clothing. You need a special suit similar to a spacesuit to be protected from the hornet. Unfortunately, you don't have one. In the beginning, you feel as if a red-hot needle is piercing your body. Through this needle, the hornet injects poison into your skin. The substance dilates the walls of the blood vessels around the bite, which makes your skin turn red. Your body fights the foreign substance and sends out immune cells, but the venom destroys your defense cells, causing your skin to swell. The infected blood is filtered out by your kidneys. The poison contains a substance that is toxic to this organ, but your kidneys don't bother you as much as your shoulder. The bite site is swollen and red. It's burning. The swelling can last from hours to days. It's only one hornet, but it can sting you 10 times. Just imagine what would happen if you stirred up a nest. You would have to hide in dense bushes or jump in the water to escape. And if you get stung several times, you need to go to the hospital. In any case, you are lucky that you don't have severe consequences. People with allergies should stay away from giant hornets. The sting can be catastrophic for their bodies. To avoid coming across these monsters, stay away from their nest. You can hear an alarming buzzing sound from afar. Asian giant hornets are aggressive and will sting anyone who walks past their nest. Authorities always get rid of their nests if they appear within city limits, but not only to stop them from attacking people, but also to prevent the apocalypse. And here's how it can happen. One of the Asian giant hornet's favorite things is attacking beehives. They fly far away from the nest, and when they find a hive, they mark it with a unique pheromone. The smell attracts other hornets, and even a small group of them can completely destroy the hive. About 20 hornets can wipe out about 30,000 bees. Imagine the damage that thousands of hornets could do. This is the main danger they present. By transferring pollen between flowering plants, bees help them grow, breed, and produce food. Bees pollinate plants that cows and other livestock eat. Thanks to bees, we have cotton growing. If hornets wipe out bees, there would be a worldwide shortage of cotton clothing. Simple t-shirts, jeans, and jackets would become more expensive and sooner or later disappear from the markets. Many berries and fruits may lose their rich taste and vitamin content. This could lead to a lack of vitamins, not only in animals, but also in humans. So you won't be able to put on your jeans and favorite shirt and go to a restaurant for a juicy burger. Eggplants, hot peppers, kiwis, blueberries, cranberries, and other products would disappear from the stores. Entire species of animals would stop existing along with the plants. This would lead to an even greater crisis, not only in agriculture, but also in the world economy. Imagine dominoes falling one by one. That's what it would look like. Along with this, the number of hornets would increase. There are almost no animals in the world that could control the growth of the hornet population. If people do nothing, everyone would have to wear thick protective suits to walk outside. Hornets would infiltrate homes and cars and sting people and pets. Of course, people are aware of this danger and take all possible measures to control the population of hornets. Unfortunately, bees can't protect themselves. Their sting can't harm hornets. Bees are much smaller, so they're completely defenseless. But one bee species has developed a fantastic way to resist hornets. Meet the Japanese honeybee. As soon as a giant hornet enters their hive, they instantly attack it, covering the enemy with their bodies. Once the hornet is trapped in this dense living cocoon, the bees begin to vibrate. Their shaking is so fast that they just burn the hornet. After that, the bees discard the much larger insect and go about their business. Well, the strategy is effective for one hornet, but what if many of them appear? Most likely, bees won't be able to cover all enemies. Besides, Japanese bees can't teach other bees how to fight hornets. Fortunately, humans control the giant hornet population. All hornets belong to the wasp family, and among them, the Asian hornet is not the creepiest insect. How about a wasp that can turn other living things into zombies? Spider manipulating wasps can do that. This tiny insect lives in rainforests. It flies between trees, holding an egg most of the day, and looks for the perfect host. This host will later take care of the offspring. The wasp examines the local fauna, sniffs, avoids predators, and notices a web. The spider uses this web to catch other insects, but this time, the spider has become the prey itself. The wasp is getting closer, but doesn't sting. It just drops the egg on the spider's abdomen and flies away. It's done. There's nothing the spider can do now, since the egg is stuck to its back. The hunter probably doesn't even feel the guest. But then, the larva hatches from the egg, and the spider's life becomes a nightmare. Day after day, the wasp larva feeds on the spider. It can't get it off its back, because the baby wasp controls its mind. The larva has injected a special substance into the spider's body. The poison has a terrifying effect on the spider's brain. Now, the spider cares for the larva's life more than for its own. The spider begins to weave an unusually shaped web of stiffer silk. It makes a particular web pattern inside which the larva will be safe. Then, when the baby wasp reaches a certain level of development, it abandons the exhausted spider and clings to the web. Then, it creates a cocoon that will become its home for a while. When the time comes, the wasp emerges from the cocoon. It can fly and is now able to take care of itself. Whether it's a female or a male wasp, the insect starts looking for a mate to create offspring. Then, if it's a female, it lays an egg, grabs it, and begins flying around the jungle, looking for a new spider. There are even more inventive parasitic wasps. Meet one of them. When the female is about to lay her eggs, she starts looking for a babysitter. Aha, a ladybug. The wasp flies up to the beetle and releases a single egg through its sting. When the larva goes out of the egg, it makes its way inside its host. 20 days have passed. During this time, the larva has developed inside the ladybug, and now it's getting out. But the babysitter's job isn't done yet. The larva creates a cocoon between the ladybug's hind legs. Inside it, it will evolve into an adult wasp. But to keep the cocoon safe, the larva makes a bodyguard out of its host. If something dares to come close, the ladybug will do its best to protect the cocoon. When the wasp inside the cocoon is formed, it leaves its bodyguard. The way the wasp controls the ladybug's mind is still unknown. There are a lot of parasites besides wasps. Some of them can control animals and even humans. If you think you're at the peak of your height right now, I have something for you. You can grow a full inch lightning fast in just 5 minutes. First of all, find a chin-up bar or just somewhere to hang from and set the timer for 45 seconds. Now, hang from the bar and relax all your muscles, focusing only on hanging. When you're done with that part, lie down on the floor. Open up your arms to the sides, palms facing up, and straighten your legs on the floor. Now bend your left leg at the knee, pull it up, and cross it over the right one, letting it sink to the floor. Relax again as much as you can. This will allow your hip exterior and your spine to extend a bit more. Lie down like this for 30 seconds and then switch the legs for another 30 seconds. Now slowly sit down and assume the butterfly position with the soles of your feet touching each other. Then bend down at the waist, feeling the stretch at the hips and lower back. Don't push yourself too hard and stop bending as soon as you feel uncomfortable. That's important. Breathe slowly and easily and sit like this for 30 to 45 seconds. Next, stand up straight against a wall and raise your arms straight up without stretching them too much. Touch your fingers to the wall and take a step forward, still keeping your fingertips on the wall. Stop as soon as you feel you can't go further without letting go of the wall. Now push up with your feet. This will stretch you nicely. Keep standing like this for another 30 seconds. Once you're finished, step back, slowly lower your arms, and while pushing your back against the wall, lower your head and push your tongue against the roof of your mouth, hard. Again, don't go to extremes. You should feel comfortable doing all of this. With your head lowered and your upper back and the back of your head touching the wall and tongue pressed up, you're activating different muscles in the back of your neck, and you should feel it well now. Stay in this position for 30 seconds more. Finally, back to the bar now. You're going to repeat the same routine you started with, only now you should hang from the bar for a whole minute, relaxing your entire body. If you feel any discomfort in your arms, drop it earlier, or else it will do more harm than good. If you succeeded, you can now go and check your height. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised with your results. Now, how about a party pool trick where you prove you can hold your breath longer than any of your friends? Even if you're not a great swimmer, you can make your body think it can do better than your normal self. The trick is called hyperventilation, and divers use it all the time. Before plunging into the water, take several quick and short breaths. You will make your brain think it has a larger oxygen supply. And when you finally make that last deep breath, you'll have more time before you have to resurface for a breather. The amount of extra time depends entirely on your body and lifestyle, but it can be anywhere from several moments to a couple dozen seconds. Just like your left and right hand is better at performing different tasks, your left and right ear has different affinities to sounds. If you're having trouble hearing someone addressing you in a noisy environment, turn your right ear closer to them. And if you want to make out the tune somewhere in the distance, best turn your left ear towards it. If you work from home or in an office and stare at the computer screen for hours on end, you must have noticed that your eyesight seems to deteriorate by the end of the day. That's what they call near-point stress. The muscles in your eyes get tired from focusing them on a single point right in front of you. You'll feel much better if you close your eyes once in a while, ideally every hour or so. Take a deep breath and flex your shoulders, arms, lower back, and legs. This will not only bring you some relief from sitting in front of the computer, but also relax the muscles in your eyes. It might seem weird, but you can't control your eyeballs directly, like most other body parts. So focusing on the rest of your body will let your eyes have some respite and recover from stress. If you ever cleaned inside your ears with a cotton swab, although you shouldn't, as it even says on the packaging, you've probably felt the desire to cough while doing so. That's because the nerves in your ears and your throat are interconnected. Surprisingly, this connection can help you out too. If you happen to have that annoying itch inside your throat that you can't scratch no matter how hard you try, scratch and tug on your ear instead. This will irritate the interconnected nerves, causing your throat muscles to spasm, often relieving that nasty itch. Everyone has experienced brain freeze in their lifetime. That horrible sensation when you eat too much ice cream too fast or drink something extremely cold without a second thought. It occurs when cold food touches the roof of your mouth closer to the throat, where nerve endings are closer to the surface. To quickly stop that numbing sensation when your head is seemingly about to explode, the best course of action is to warm your soft palate with your tongue. Curl it up and press it against the roof of your mouth, trying to reach back as far as you can. When the soft palate warms up, you'll get that sweet relief. Many people have fallen into that bed trap late at night when you lie down in bed with your phone in hand and just can't fall asleep. Conditioning can help you deal with that, but fair warning, it'll take some time. First of all, bed is for sleeping. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. In the morning, Instead of hitting that snooze button, whatever the temptation might be, get up and out of bed as quickly as possible. Once you've washed your face, your brain will start preparing for the day ahead, and you won't want to go back. Before going to bed at night, try to limit your phone and computer use to the bare minimum. Ideally, you shouldn't use any screens at least an hour before heading to sleep, as the blue light the screens emit prevents your body from generating melatonin, the sleep hormone. If you can't allow yourself such a luxury, at least turn on the eye-saving mode. It will decrease the blue light emission, letting your eyes rest and your brain be less stressed out. And no phone in bed. It's for sleeping, remember? When you lie down for the night, turn off all your devices at once. Melatonin is produced best when it's completely dark around, so block all the light you can in your bedroom. That annoying red spot of your TV on standby? Unplug it. Are the green blinking lights of your Wi-Fi router just gluing your eyes to them? Cover it with something, or, again, pull out the plug for the night. Buy yourself thick curtains if you must. It'll do you good in the long run. Finally, the force of habit is powerful. Try to stick to the same schedule every day, even on weekends. If you wake up and go to bed at the same time every day, your body will start producing melatonin on its own when it's time to turn in for the night. If you can't swim and are scared of drowning, you don't need any formal training at all. Instead of forcing yourself to stay on the surface, relax, take a deep breath, and lie down on your back, holding the air inside. Your lungs will act as air balloons, keeping you afloat for as long as you can keep them filled with air. Once you breathe out, you'll probably go down, so let the air out in a quick blow and inhale again, deeply. This method will let you stay afloat for as long as you wish. You can even learn to swim doing it. At first, try paddling with your arms while lying on your back and holding your breath. When you feel more confident, turn over to your belly and, keeping your head above the water, propel yourself forward with your hands first, then with your feet. Your air-filled lungs will still make you bob near the surface, so it's not going to be much trouble if you do it right. Ready for this? You will not be able to leave the confines of a bath of any type for an entire month, and you will be provided with food and drink that your friends will take turns to deliver. You'll be able to constantly adjust the water temperature whenever you like, so that the water won't get too cold. You're getting excited, and you're confident that you'll earn quite a bundle of cash, equating to several $100s when you last the entire month. It's the bet you made with your friends only a short time ago from within your simple fishing village where you were sitting with your friends at a bar. Little did you know that it would lead to this from a simple conversation. You had been discussing the evolution of mankind, and the conversation mainly focused on the potential that humans could have moved towards evolving to water-based mammals, potentially becoming merpeople. The facts are all in evolution, you tried stating to your friends. Your friends weren't convinced, even with your example regarding getting wrinkly fingers from being in the water for too long, an evolutionary trait we humans adapted to ensure we have grip whilst fishing with our hands in water. Of course, your friends don't see how this could relate to the possible evolution towards becoming a mer-person. You felt the need to prove them all wrong. As your friends sat around enjoying themselves, moving on from the conversation of aquatic evolution, you thought hard. How can I prove them wrong? Then it came to you. You stood up, finger pointing to the sky, and said, "I bet I can stay in a bathtub for an entire month." And here you are now, following the arrangements you seem to have doubts about. Knowing about particular human evolution reignites confidence and understanding in you that there have been some instances in human history where people have adapted naturally to live with their sea-based lives. So this feels like a safe bet. For example, the sea nomads in Southeast Asia have been fishing for 1,000 years in their unique way. Diving deep into the water to catch their fish, armed with just a spear, these sea nomads have adapted to grow larger over the centuries. It allowed more oxygen cells to be pumped through vital organs and more oxygen to be stored for their deep water dives. This understanding gives you confidence as you await the first day of the bet. During the first few hours, you seem fine. In fact, you find it to be easy and joke throughout the first day, bragging how this will be the easiest money you'd win and what you plan to buy with it all. You sleep well through the first night, But little do you know that your skin absorbs the water in the bathtub as you sleep. With each passing hour, more water enters your skin. Between the two layers, water bubbles form, creating visible lumps on the outer layer of your skin. As you awake the following day, you're slightly alarmed to see the transformation of your skin. You look over your hands. They are all white, with the skin crumbling away, and your arms are covered with large lumps of liquid. It's not a pretty sight. You hear someone coming into the bathroom, and you try to calm yourself down. It's only the first day after all. You just need to toughen up. You need to win this bet, not only for the money, but also for argument's sake. Your friend enters the bathroom with a tray of food, and your friend's facial expression soon turns pale as they see the lumps on your arms. Concerned, they ask if you're okay, and surprisingly, you do feel just fine, and respond that you're just a bit itchy. You're pretty curious how there's no pain, given the sight of your arms. Without thinking, you begin to scratch the large bubbles on your arms. You continue to rub your arm to see the skin's reaction. You now have a freeing feeling as your arms are exposed, as though you have removed unnecessary weight. You find yourself with a new layer of scales in place of skin. Your friend requests that the bet must end, given the sudden change to your appearance. You argue that you're okay and that you want to continue. There's just too much at stake, and you want to win this bet desperately. As your friend accepts this and leaves, you request an upgrade to a jacuzzi. You're soon upgraded to the jacuzzi, and by now, not only do your friends come to visit you, but members of the village visit curiously, as events like this don't stay secret long in such a small, simple village. As days go by, more scales appear in place of your skin, covering your legs, arms, and your lower back. Your skin is still visible throughout most of your body, but the scales are spreading quickly, similar to a rash. It doesn't take long before you get tired of the jacuzzi, and your friends are happy to support an upgrade to the village's swimming pool next to the seaside. You're now in the final week of the bet, and by now, the entire village knows about you, the merman. What you find to be incredible, though, is that as the people visit you in the pool, there's no fear or judgment. The people are just overjoyed and intrigued at the spectacle of it all. The pool is large, but it isn't heated. A teenager asks you whether you're warm enough, but you don't notice the cold at all and feel pretty comfortable. Your diet has now changed significantly. You prefer primarily fish. Webbing has grown between your fingers and toes, and small slits on both sides of your ribs have opened, forming gills to allow you to breathe underwater. As you continue to evolve, you keep trying to reassure yourself that it's just a little longer, and that winning this bet was all that mattered. You think back to almost a month ago when you and your friends placed down your bets, thinking of the cash. Oh, several $100s. It'll all be worth it soon. And besides, you could always devolve back to normal. This will only be temporary, surely. The final day of the bet finally arrives. A great party has been arranged to celebrate your victory. The entire village attends the celebration. There's a band and a great feast for all to eat. You enjoy yourself with the villagers, preferring to stay in the pool, of course. Teenagers throw fish to you, and you catch the fish in your mouth, laughing at your own expense. You jump into the air, performing tricks to the villagers who applaud with every trick. As the party goes on, you slowly break away from the celebration, watching on by yourself in your pool. You feel yourself growing tired of the festivities and the attention. You look on as the villagers laugh and party. You think you're somewhat out of place swimming alone within this simple village. You feel a sudden urge to leave, and you no longer care about the celebration. You have no interest in the money from the bet. You're not bothered that you proved everyone wrong. You only feel the desire to be free. You swim to the edge of the pool. It's dark, so no one can see your attempt to escape. As you pull yourself out, the weight of your body out of the water is so heavy, and your legs and arms are so weak that you collapse and have to crawl very slowly towards the beach. Eventually, you make it to the edge of the shallows, and you collapse as you make it to the water, out of breath. The small saltwater waves you feel splashing on your face reinvigorate you after your exhausting journey. Once you've gathered enough energy, you begin to swim towards deeper water. And like a fish to water, you swim with ease. The feeling you have now, swimming in the sea, is like you had been in a cage all of your life. Now you're finally free. The exhilarating feeling of the water with unlimited space seems like heaven to you. As you swim further into the sea, you stop suddenly to look back at the village for just a moment. You pause and watch the town that was once all you knew, and you listen to the muffled sounds in the distance, reflecting on the life you had within the village. You feel no emotions as you look back, with no regrets or remorse. And then you dive underwater, ready to begin your new life under the sea.
Well, you finally made it. After all that training, you're ready for your first skydive. Full of confidence, you reach the door of the plane as it gets to 12,000 feet. You step off into the air, but at the last second, you hear the instructor screaming something.
Sorry, I didn't check your chute.
Well, you can't hear him as you drop away from the plane, seeing only his concerned expression. Well, feels like something has gone wrong. You pull the handle to release the parachute, but it hasn't deployed correctly, opening into a big wad, and you're now spinning faster and faster. You're getting dizzy, but you need to pull yourself together. Each second is crucial, and from this altitude, you have less than a minute to act. You throw yourself into the Bowman formation, spreading your body out with your arms and legs forming a big X. This creates a little more drag, allowing you to stabilize a bit. Hey, this whole thing is a drag. Now you have more time to get to your emergency reserve chute. Still dizzy from spinning, you try to remember where it is. You grab what you think is the right strap and pull it hard. Oh no, that's a leg strap. You've loosened the container on your back and now you're slipping out. This is not your lucky day. You hold on and tighten up the leg strap. Oh yeah, the safety procedure is coming back to you now. Step 1, cut away from the main parachute with the red handle. Done! Now you're in free fall again. Step 2. Now find the silver ripcord handle to pop the reserve chute. Gotta hurry, the ground is rushing up at you. Where's that handle? Whoops, there it is, sitting on your chest on the left. You yank it hard. Ka-thump! The chute flies out and deploys and slams the brake on your descent. Now you're relieved. Breathtaking? Heart-pounding? Oh yeah! Finally, you can enjoy the view. For about 10 seconds before you land on the ground, softly, feet first. Hey, looks like fun, sign me up. On another day, as always, instead of taking the stairs, you use the elevator. Now the odds of it falling are 1 in 10 million. You're 10 times more likely to be hit by lightning. But today, you're in that unlucky elevator. As you move down from the 5th floor, the pulley system fails, a cable snaps, and the elevator starts falling. Quickly, you lie down on your back, placing one arm around your head to protect it from the impact, and the other arm over your face to save it from possible falling objects. You spread your legs out evenly. In just a couple of seconds, you brace for impact. It crashes down, and debris from above falls around you. Fantastic job! You've avoided injury. But could it be possible to alter the impact by jumping? Well, let's think this through. If you jump too early, your impact would be more severe as your speed would increase in the descent. And if you jump too late, the velocity of your jump upwards would cause you to bump your head as the elevator would have stopped. You need to jump at the precise moment to be effective in velocity, and without the ability to see through steel, it would be down to sheer luck. So it's better to use the lie-down method. Yeah, good luck with that. You casually drive to work, passing over the same bridge as any other day. Today, there's more traffic than normal, and you're stuck in a jam. The bridge starts to creak. Unfortunately, it's possible for structurally faulty bridges to collapse under excess weight. And there you are. As the bridge falls into the river, your car floats on top. The water is slowly rising around you as it starts to sink. You're trying to remain calm and take a deep breath. You have up to 2 minutes before the car completely sinks. You need to act fast and roll down the window. As you take off your seatbelt, you notice the water has risen above the windows. You try to roll them down, but they're stuck in place from the pressure. You've missed your opportunity. You're sinking further down and thinking about opening the door. Better not. This will make your vehicle sink even faster. Plus, it'll be more dangerous to exit. The car hits bottom, and the water is slowly entering it. You try to open the door, but the pressure is so intense that it won't budge. You think about the water coming in. Maybe if you waited until there's enough water inside, it could regulate the pressure, allowing the doors to open. But with the limited air that would remain, and if the doors still don't work, that's too much of a risk. Your only choice is to smash the window. You can do it easily due to the water pressure, and it spills in quickly. You take your last deep breath while holding onto the window frame. The car fills in quickly, and the suction suddenly stops. You pull yourself through the window and place your feet on the car, push upwards, and swim to the surface. Yeah, remind me not to carpool with you. Next, you're out hiking in a forest and find the perfect place to view the sunset. You take a photo, and it looks great. But wait, which way is it back to camp? It's getting dark, and you have no idea how you got here. You check your phone. It has a map, so you'll be fine, right? Well, you've taken way too many nature pics, and the battery has run out. You can survive up to 3 hours without shelter in harsh weather. You can go without water for 3 days, and up to 3 weeks without food. You need to address your next actions in order of importance. So your first task is to build a shelter. You lean a large stick onto a tree for the roof support. Then you build 2 walls on the sides, making a sturdy frame. There are plenty of leaves in the forest, and you cover the roof with heaps of them for insulation and protection. On the inside, you build a nice leafy mattress. You enter and wait until morning, hoping to have a relaxing sleep. Well, you've slept horribly, but there's no time to leave a review on your booking app. The next task is finding water. You follow a clear decline in the land, eventually finding a stream. Clean water? Check. You continue to walk with the stream's flow, hoping it leads you to a river. You are more likely to find people and signs of civilization along large collections of water. Hours pass and your belly grumbles. You look around for tasty snacks. There are berries and mushrooms, but you don't recognize them. So it's better not to eat something if you're unsure whether it's poisonous. You search under old logs and branches for bugs. You've found some mealworms that can be eaten raw. Some insects, when cooked, can be a major source of iron, protein, and vitamin B12. You look at them and your appetite goes away. Maybe later. Finally, the stream connects to a river, and just ahead of that, a bridge. Not the one that fell down. Well, the struggle is over. You throw the bugs away and begin the next adventure, finding a diner. Yeah, we're not going camping together either. Next, you're walking in a field. The wind is picking up, and not far away, a tornado is forming. You start running away from it, but you can't outrun it as it travels up to 60 miles per hour. Your main concern isn't the tornado itself, but the trees and buildings that the twister takes in, turning them into dangerous flying objects. They fly at crazy speeds as they're carried by fast winds, reaching up to 300 miles per hour. You look for shelter, but there's nothing available. Your only possibility is a ditch that's not surrounded by trees or other breakable objects. You lie wedged in a ditch and cover your head with your jacket, holding it down with your arms for protection. While lying flat, with that thundering noise around you, you feel like you're in a giant jet engine. It's a terrifying sound, but luckily, you're not in the tornado's pathway. You can hear the small debris whistling over your head, and many make an impact, thudding all around you, but thankfully they miss. Suddenly, everything goes calm. You lie there controlling your breathing, trying to relax. You don't get up, not yet, as the worst may be yet to come. Tornadoes can last from several seconds to up to an hour. You're not taking your chances and remain in your ditch for the full hour. But finally, when it's clear that it's gone, you dust off your jacket and head home. And I'll do that once I get out of the hospital. When you're hungry or peckish, the kitchen is no doubt your favorite place to be. And you probably think you know your kitchen pretty well. In actuality, maybe not as well as you might think. You see, there are quite a few hidden secrets in your kitchen you're likely unaware of. First, we're going to take a look at something with holes in it. No, we're not talking about Swiss cheese, though now you mention it, all this kitchen talk is making me hungry. Instead, take a look at the knives in your kitchen. You may notice that some of them have holes or dimples across the blade. You won't just find these features on one type of blade either. There are quite a few knives in your kitchen that likely have these holes or dimples. These can include the paring knife, the bread knife, and of course everyone's favorite kitchen knife, the chef's knife. This feature isn't just decorative though. There are a few excellent reasons for these holes and dimples. One of the main reasons is to reduce cutting friction. Think about it. Not all foods are easily sliced. Say you're trying to make a delicious pumpkin curry. Of course, you've got your main ingredient. Maybe you want to add some carrot among other vegetables, all of which are pretty thick and hard to cut through. Pick yourself a knife with some holes in it. Those holes will help reduce the friction between that tough-to-slice food and your blade. These knives will also be lighter and therefore kinder on your wrist if you plan on cutting food for an extended time. The holes in your blade mean less steel, which means less weight, so you'll be making cleaner cuts in your food with ease. Another use for these holes is to hang your knives up, significantly larger ones that are harder to store in a drawer. Having it hung up at arm's length of the kitchen bench for a commonly used knife like a meat cleaver will also be convenient. Of course, when you're cutting your food, you want to be doing it so on a chopping board, which, you guessed it, has a kitchen secret of its own. You'll notice, in most chopping boards, there's also a hole at the top of the board. Sure, this can be handy for when you need to carry it around or hang it up in your kitchen, as you did with your cleaver. But there's an additional purpose behind this feature, which probably hasn't occurred to you before. Once you've sliced up your herbs and vegetables, all that delicious flavor you're going to be adding to your dish, hover the hole at the top of the chopping board over the pot, pan, or whatever it is you're cooking in. Take your knife and gently push your ingredients through the hole for a clean transfer from the board. Give it a try. A clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just cutting some onions. But did you know there is in fact a secret way to cut onions without the tears? First of all, it's important to know that your onion isn't a hooligan. That's not why you end up crying when you cut into it. The onion skin contains amino acids, and when you cut into it, the chemicals produced from the damage you incur are released into the air and end up stinging your eyes, kind of like payback. The best way to stifle the production of these tear-inducing chemicals is to cool the onion, either by freezing it or running it under cold water. Either way, you should now be able to cut through your onion with dry eyes and a smile. Keep the water running for this upcoming kitchen secret, and we need to fill the ice cube trays next. It seems almost impossible to refill your ice cube trays without making a complete mess of the water. But the design of your standard ice cube tray lets you fill it with ease and a dry kitchen bench. Rather than filling each well one by one, direct the water onto the flat area in between 4 ice cube wells. It'll channel the water evenly into each well without overfilling and splashing over the sides. If you're after a speedier method of filling your ice cube tray, tilt it onto an angle and run the water from the top 2 wells. The water will run down the tray like a waterfall and fill up each well with speed and relative cleanliness. Of course, it's still a challenging journey carrying your ice cube tray from the kitchen tap to the freezer. We haven't discovered a secret for that yet, other than, well, an automatic ice cube maker. Now, let's get out of the freezer and heat things up a bit. However, did you know that spicy food isn't actually hot? At least not in the traditional sense of the word. A chemical compound in hot peppers called capsaicin tricks your brain into experiencing that burning sensation in your mouth and throat. So, no need to worry, you are not really on fire, though it may feel like it. Your first instinct is to probably grab a tall glass of water and wash it down like you're dousing a house fire. But you do not want to do this. The water will only spread the capsaicin around more and make it worse. Instead, dairy is your secret best friend when you need relief from an overly spicy pepper. Most milk products contain a protein called casein, which can help wash away the capsaicin. So, as long as you have a glass of milk handy, go ahead and test yourself by seasoning your meal with some challenging spices. Speaking of seasoning, the most common seasoning ingredient to any meal is undoubtedly salt. But have you ever grabbed the half-full salt shaker, turned it upside down, and despite shaking it and tapping the bottom, barely any grains come out? Sooner or later, salt starts to clump together. It tends to happen because salt absorbs water vapor in the air, and eventually it can attract enough that the salt partially dissolves and sticks together. Well, the secret solution to this has been under your nose this whole time, and you probably never realized it. Have you ever noticed some grains of rice in the salt shaker on the table at your favorite restaurant? They're not there to add flavor. It's done because the rice absorbs water even faster than the salt, keeping the salt dry for longer. You can do this with the salt in your kitchen too. Just add some uncooked long-grain rice to your shaker, and you'll notice your salt coming out of it with ease from now on. But now, let's talk about something you might be flavoring with your now easy-to-use salt shaker, or rather, what tends to sprout from it. Potatoes are one of the most diverse foods on the planet. As Samwise Gamgee once put it, boil them, smash them, stick them in a stew. But if you don't get around to cooking your potatoes as fast as a hobbit surely would, you'll likely notice some shoots start to sprout. Soon enough, your potato looks like something out of a scary alien movie. It's not an unnatural process, however. Like most things, reproduction is part of a potato's cycle of existence, and sprouting is part of the process of creating a new potato. The speed at which your potato starts sprouting its shoots depends on its exposure to light, temperature, humidity levels, and how long it is left dormant for. So, if it's been sitting around for a while, it's likely going to have some sprouts. It's excellent if you plan to plant your potato. Of course, this is not so much the case if you plan to eat it. However, a secret to preventing potatoes from sprouting too early is to store them with your apples. The apple's ethylene gas prevents the sprouting process for longer. But don't store your potatoes with your onion. No, they won't make the potatoes cry, but they will have the opposite effect and cause them to sprout. So you see, sprouts on a potato aren't nearly as unsavory as mold on bread. When the bread is fresh, however, one of the most popular uses is to create toast. Almost every home has a toaster. Mine does. It might surprise you to know that there's likely a secret compartment inside your very own toaster. What's inside the compartment may not be too exciting, but it happens to be a critical feature that not many people know exists. It's the crumb tray, whereas the name suggests all the crumbs and debris from your toast end up here. To find this hidden feature, you need to look for it between your toaster's upper and lower body. Now, it's essential to keep this tray clean. Not only does it keep your kitchen cleaner, but it also reduces the risk of your toaster being a fire hazard. Well, that would be crummy. Those are some unveiled kitchen secrets we bet you never knew. Now you're ready to reacquaint yourself with your kitchen and make a meal with all these handy secrets in mind. Yep, now I'm hungry. A whopping 1/3 of healthy teens and adults say they often feel super sleepy and like they have no energy. Let's get to the root of why we're all so tired. Pardon me. First off, you need to avoid eating too many refined carbs like sugar. It gives you a rapid energy fix and your blood sugar levels shoot up. But this is temporary, and it quickly comes back down. This is what we call a sugar crash. Craving quick energy leads us into a bad cycle of being energized and then quickly crashing. That's why eating too many sugary foods can actually make you super tired throughout the day. Think of it as plugging your phone in to charge when the battery is low. It works fine when it's plugged in, but take it off charge and the battery level quickly drops. Reducing the amount of sugar and processed carbs you have in your meals and snacks will give you way more energy throughout the day. Replacing those chocolate snacks with vegetables is going to make you feel way more alert during the day. Food has a huge impact on your energy levels. You get a lot of your energy from calories. If you don't eat enough of these calories, your metabolism slows down so that you can save the little energy that you have. This can make you feel and even look like a zombie. Teenage boys need around 2,800 calories each day, while girls need 2,200. When you're done doing all that growing and turn into an adult, that number drops down to 2,500 calories for men and just 2,000 for women. Protein is also really important for boosting your energy levels. It's found in meats, including beef, lamb, and chicken. Dairy products, eggs, and fish are also really great sources of protein. If you're tired, you should also be watching your caffeine intake. When you think an afternoon coffee or energy drink is the perfect thing to wake you up throughout the day, it can really mess with your sleep. Most people think caffeine stays in our system for around 5 to 7 hours. That's why everyone says don't drink coffee before bed. But in reality, caffeine stays in our bodies for double that amount of time. That's between 10 and 14 hours. Let's say you drink a caffeinated drink by 3 p.m. By 10 p.m., when you're winding down for bed, half of that caffeine is still in your system, giving you an energy boost when you really don't need it. That means by 4 a.m., a whopping quarter of the caffeine from your drink is still in your system. This is sure to make you toss and turn throughout the night. There is a simple fix for this one. Just avoid any energy drinks or coffee after lunchtime. They say you need around 8 hours of sleep to feel refreshed the next day. Younger people need even more than that. Here's where a lot of us are going wrong. If you need to wake up at 7 a.m. for school, you go to bed at 11 p.m. to get that 8 hours of sleep. But that's not taking into account you could spend over a half an hour falling asleep. Work out on average how long it takes you to doze off and add this on to your 8-hour sleep time. After a couple of weeks of doing this, you'll feel much more refreshed. It's also a bad idea to climb into bed and open up Netflix before you hit the hay. Your bed is solely a place to sleep. Your bright laptop screen won't help you drift off either. You should ideally avoid using any screens that give off blue or white lights at least an hour before bed, ideally more. This includes your phone, laptop, and TV too. Screens prevent your brain from releasing the sleep hormone, which is called melatonin, making it difficult for your body to know when it's time to doze off. Your body gets confused and thinks that your screen light is sunlight, assuming it's daytime. This is why it keeps you awake and supplies your brain with energy. Try taking it one step further and making your bedroom an electronic-free zone. You can swap that phone screen for a good book, and it should help you drift off to slumberland a lot quicker. Audiobooks can also work really well to help you doze off. Another tip you can try to ensure you're getting as much sleep as possible is to get a blackout blind. If you don't want to spend any money, you can also just take a dark sheet or towel to cover your window. This way, when the light starts to come into your room in the earlier hours of the morning, it doesn't wake you, and you can carry on dreaming about puppies and kittens, or whatever. Exercise is another super important thing to keep us energized throughout the day. It also helps us sleep. You might think that if you get home tired after school or work, that lying on the couch could help you recharge your batteries. But although it's the last thing you want to do, try a little exercise instead. Even just 15 minutes will do. This doesn't mean you have to start going to the gym every day. Try incorporating a daily walk into your schedule. It doesn't need to be long. A half an hour round trip is all it takes. There are 3 really easy ways to get a bit more active during the day. Walk instead of jumping in the car for short journeys. Switch the elevator for the stairs. Stand rather than sit down whenever possible. If you work in an office or at home, try a standing desk. Jumping jacks are an easy exercise you can add to your daily routine. They work the whole body and get your blood pumping. You don't need any equipment either, so they're great for when that midday slump hits you in the office. A solid sleeping pattern is also super important for being more alert every day. Try going to bed at the same time every night, then waking up at a set time each morning too. Adults who go to bed at the same time on weekdays and weekends are generally less tired throughout the day and have less difficulty falling asleep at night. Just like plants wilting when they don't get enough water, our bodies can't function properly when we need some H2O. Drinking lots of water throughout the day will help you keep those energy levels up high, whether you're about to climb Mount Everest or just shopping at the local store. Stress uses up a lot of that energy you've worked to build up. If you've got an assignment due or a big exam coming up, try these tips to de-stress. Listen to your favorite tunes. Read a great book. Hang out with your best friends. Try out yoga or meditation. There's a bunch of free at-home yoga tutorials online. Meditation is super simple too. Just find a calm place to sit and get comfortable. Focus on your breath, slowly breathing in and out. You're going to want to set a time limit as well. If you're new to meditation, start with a small amount, like 5 or 10 minutes. There's a whole bunch of meditation sounds on the internet to help keep you calm and focused too. Whatever relaxes you is a surefire way to feel refreshed and boost those energy levels. Now, if you've tried all of this and you're still feeling tired, there may be another hidden reason. Food intolerances can make you feel super sluggish and affect your energy and sleep. Gluten, dairy, or egg intolerance is really common. You also get loads of your energy from vitamins. You can get iron from spinach, broccoli, red meat, and turkey. Vitamin D comes mostly from mushrooms, fatty fish, seafood, and most importantly, sunshine. Milk, eggs, and beef are great sources of B12. If changing your diet is too much to ask, though, you can always pick up vitamin supplements from your local health store. This will do the trick too. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
228,000 hours, 9,940 days, 26 years of your life. That's enough to watch around 150,000 movies or sail around the world 7 times. And it's a healthy average amount of sleep you should get in your lifetime. It sounds like a lot, but in fact, the world population is now generally getting less sleep than ever before. Sleeping less has to do with how when we go to bed aligns with our circadian rhythms. It affects how long you can sleep, no matter how tired you are. How easily you fall asleep is partially genetic, but then again, our genes haven't changed a lot over the past century. It also has to do with your melatonin levels. When your system doesn't produce enough of it, your brain has trouble sending you to sleep. The main reason we're getting less sleep now is our sleep hygiene. It's all about the good old healthy habits. When you eat healthy regular meals, work out, and set the right sleep patterns, you can even beat some bad genetics in that way. When you do the opposite, even the best of genetics won't help you sleep-wise. One thing that now affects our sleep hygiene and has gotten way more pervasive during the 21st century is light. Humans have evolved to be super sensitive to the smallest changes in light around them. You have special receptors in your eyes that respond to those changes and regulate your circadian rhythms. They send data to the brain and regulate your internal clock. This internal clock is set to help your body get ready for the coming hours and days by analyzing the amount of light. Now, the artificial light all around you and shortwave light from your gadgets confuse your natural prediction system a lot. Scientists have found it can shift your internal clock by 5 or 6 time zones. As a result, your brain gets the signal to stay alert instead of falling asleep. Running low on sleep makes most of us pretty cranky the next day. But that would be the least of all evils. Next thing you know, you have trouble focusing on things and recalling details. Your brain just doesn't get enough time to properly process and store your memories for later. It also needs the right amount of time to process your emotions, recognize them, and react the proper way. When you deprive it of that time, negative emotions take over positive ones. Giving yourself enough time to rest is a contribution to your heart health and overall balance. It's also an investment in your athletic success. Not all sports are about quick bursts of energy, but you do need energy and motivation and enough time for muscle repair, even for endurance sports like running, swimming, or biking. And if that's still not enough to convince you that sleep is all you need, doing it for 8 hours helps you get rid of around 300 calories on its own. The number differs from person to person, and the more you weigh, the larger it is. All that energy goes on fueling your essential functions, such as breathing, circulation, temperature regulation, and cellular growth and repair. When you don't get enough sleep, your body needs more energy. Since it can't get it from snoozing, it'll make you get it from food. Your hormonal levels get messed up, and your body starts producing more hunger hormone and less fullness hormone. Scientists asked healthy adults to sleep for just 6 hours a day for 5 weeks, and their resting metabolism slowed down by 8%. No fun, right? Let's see what you can do about it. It takes your body around 90 to 110 minutes to pass through all stages of sleep and restore itself completely. That's one sleep cycle. It starts with stage 1 of non-REM sleep. REM here stands for rapid eye movement. Everything slows down, including your eye and muscle movement. If someone wakes you up at this stage, you won't feel like you've had any sleep at all. It's normal to feel like you're falling and then have a sudden muscle contraction at this stage. Then, at stage 2 of non-REM sleep, your eye movement stops and your heart rate and temperature go down. Your muscles partially contract and then relax, again and again. Stage 3 of non-REM sleep is deep sleep.